following program is a collection of stooges talking about the happenings in the automotive detailing industry. It is meant to be comedic and informative. The opinions expressed on the show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or their ad partners. There may be some cuss words because that's how grown-ups talk in the real world. If you are a young, please seek permission before watching or listening any further.
Welcome to the Detail Solutions podcast. My name is Alex Russell. That over there is Jason Bruno, Mr. So Good. He's got a duplicate Instagram page now.
Yeah, if you guys see that, don't follow it, and please report it.
Yeah. So hopefully everybody's going to jump over. Apparently Facebook's being an asshole again and is not putting this on the discussion group where everybody's used to watching it. So hopefully people jump over to the podcast page, and we'll be on there. Man, so your second podcast today, bro. Aren't you you can be good or?
Yeah. I was on the Running Door podcast earlier. It was great. Talked about the paint correction competition again. Just trying to spread the word and advertise that shit.
Yeah, no, it was good, man. It was a good listen.
Thank you.
Everybody who maybe didn't catch it, go check it out. I definitely enjoyed it. It was some good stuff you guys were talking about on there. And then there was a cool little Q&A at the end of it. And so it was good stuff, man. Good job.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get into this. The website, the detailsolutionspodcast.com. Listen, you guys know that's where you can find everything. #money money funny, all that good stuff, right?
We're doing the speed through.
I mean, I'm not trying to speed through it, but dude, I feel like it's just repetitive. I mean, Jesus, if they don't
it's supposed to be repetitive. You know why?
I know it
because
is.
There could be a slim chance where we gain a new listener and they have no fucking clue what we're talking about because we're going through this fast.
All right. So the detailsolutionspodcast.com is our website. It's got all the links to where you can find us on social media, where you can listen to us. It also has our preferred vendor page, which our lovely ad partners are on there with a link to their website. So if you're curious about any of the products that our ad sponsors have, you can click that link. You can go over there. You'll spend some money with them. They should be kind enough to give you some discounts, so you'll save a little bit of money, and in return, they'll keep spending that money with us for us to give you the funny #money money funny. And then we have the drip store. Go buy some t-shirts.
You can go through that part fast. Okay.
Yeah, because nobody's going to the drip store. We are live, like I said, on Facebook. We're just apparently not in the discussion group tonight, so we are in the regular page. We're also live on YouTube. So if you have not followed us on YouTube yet, the Detail Solutions Podcast is our channel. Please go like, share, follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff over there. The lives have been popping off on TikTok lately. Joking. But if you want to follow us on TikTok, we are the Detail Solutions Pod. Maybe next weekend we'll do some lives on TikTok. That'll be a great MT would be a great place to do some lives, especially with the paint correction deal, hanging out in the Just Car booth with Noxie, and then just kind of genuinely.
I'll try to do some while I'm fishing as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited, dude. Unfortunately, there's been some people who can't make the fishing tournament on the PDR side, so it was really nice. Randy reached out, and I was able to get Chris Rakana from Dr. Beasley's and one Mr. Jason Otterness on a boat together. So hopefully that'll be a good thing for the detail side. Those are two really big guys in the industry, and having them, being able to take part in it and see how it does this year, maybe that'll lead to, next year, being a better thing. The one thing I forgot, the whole reason why I actually mentioned why you were on Rennie Doyle's podcast and completely forgot
Oh,
I
okay.
wanted
Here we
to
go.
mention.
Light bulb.
There was a reason I wanted to mention it,
Yeah.
and not just give you your props for being on it. I
Because
completely
God forbid that's all you fucking do. Jesus.
I'm just trying to think of the podcast and everything, right? But no, so listen, man, one of the cool things I thought was Rennie throwing in on the competition, right? Like, even though the competition isn't like a full on, competition this year, you guys are just beta testing it, trying it out, see what works, what doesn't work. But I like that Rennie was throwing out there a free 1-day extreme training,
Yeah.
because they hold those all over the country for, whoever ends up being quote unquote a winner, or
Yeah, we'll figure that part out when we get to it. Like I said, it's not gonna be the actual contest, but we'll have little side things going on, and maybe whoever can get the best gloss reading will get that
Right.
opportunity.
So the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because he did challenge some other manufacturers on his website to throw in some donations or put up some prizes or something like that. So, I mean, we do have a co-founder of a company on the podcast tonight that is listening, I'm hoping, in the green room. So maybe Mr. Mike Cardenas will throw in some Aquatek something or other, and give you a little something for people, whoever wins it or whatever. So I'm sure Mike is listening. We'll let him take that. I think Jason's watching too. So Jason, you're watching. Check that out. All right, what else we got? MTE is only a week away. If you have not bought your tickets yet, I'm looking for a code. Mr. Patterson hit me up the other day and said, "Hey man, you got a code?" So I guess Davey P's coming down, which is going to be cool.
Right, man.
So if you want to be like Davey P and you want to use a code and save a little bit of money, mobiletechexpo.com. Use the code DSP15 when you're purchasing your tickets. That'll save you 15% off. And then you still have time to nominate us for the Golden Mike Award. That goes all the way up to the last minute. I think like all the way up to Wednesday or whatever. So if you still haven't nominated us and you'd like to, mobiletechexpo.com/golden-mike is where you can do that. Just write something nice about us, why you think we should be nominated, and we appreciate that. All right, I guess that's it. About it. We got everything. We'll jump into commercials, and we'll bring Mike and Rain on, and we'll get to talking about these detailing myths or whatever we're going to call it. So we'll be right back. Autobahn is a leading provider of tint, paint protection film, and ceramic coatings. Experience the transformation as you cool down your vehicle and elevate its curb appeal with Autobahn's window tint. Ditch rock chips and scratches by fortifying your paint with Autobahn's cutting-edge paint protection film. And for an additional safeguard, add a ceramic coating. Backed by an unwavering lifetime warranty, Autobahn's products form automotive armor with no limits. Visit AutobahnFilms.com to delve deeper into the realm of automotive care and protection. All right, and we're back with Mike Cardenas and Rain Albertson. How you guys doing
What's
today?
up?
Good, man.
Mike, man, get your fucking face out your phone.
Mike, did you get frozen again?
No.
Can you hear us? Mike. Mike. Guess what day it is, Mike?
Dude, he's got his headphones off, I bet, again.
Yeah, he probably does. I mean, it would help if you just looked up a little bit. He's measuring right now.
Yeah, yeah. He's like,
These pills are bullshit.
yeah. He's like,
Off
fuck
the
Blue Chew,
fucking
bro.
rails already. All right.
Hello,
Well, whenever
right now?
Mike feels like joining us.
Mike, turn your ears
Mike.
on. He's gone.
I even texted him.
Hey,
He's probably looking at the feed on Facebook. There's a delay on it.
I just
Yeah, he's like, "What's up?"
I don't know, guys. I look like a sad man.
We've lost Mike
Jesus
already.
Christ.
Mike,
I wish more
Stop
people bought Aquatek.
Oh, he says he doesn't see us.
Oh,
time to turn his
Oh,
headphones
good
on.
Lord.
Turn the midget porn
No,
off.
he
Turn the
said he
headphones
doesn't see
on.
us.
can you just call him?
Lord. I can't
Jeez.
go out.
Anyways, I don't
Yeah,
like the
so
New
we're-
York Yankee hat, man. Call Mike and deal with that. I'm gonna deal with this fucking Yankee fan over here.
Hey, easy. Take it easy.
I just told him to go out and come back in. So we'll get Mike back in here, hopefully. If not, we'll just chat it up with Rain. Hopefully he can come back in. So before we'll give Mike a minute to try and figure out his thing. So what's going on, Rain, man? How you been?
Not bad. Not bad. Doing
Yeah.
good, man.
How's the old November rain go or October rain going?
They've got label. They're waiting on labels to be printed. I got some pictures of that sent to me, and they I'm pretty sure we should be able to have some available at MTE. I'm not 100% sure though.
I know what I am gonna get my hands on at MTE is that Fuego.
Yeah. Tommy's got his line of his own signature line of wax coming out. Fuego is supposed to be pretty badass. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, that's awesome. You haven't used it yet?
I have not. No, nobody. As far as I know, if anybody's messed with it, it's a very select few people, and I'm not one of them. But yeah, that's a big deal. Yeah, we're looking forward to MTE, man. John's gonna be doing his thing, mixing up stuff live and giving out samples. You see his face. You saw him at SEMA. He loves that shit. He'll talk to you. He'll talk to you for hours about.
There's Mike. Mike, you back with us?
Yeah.
There he is.
All right. There he goes.
I'm like, where did these guys go? I don't see you. I'm like waiting in the backstage. It's like, do I go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
What do I do?
Yeah, man. Good seeing you. Good to see you now live.
Yes.
Yeah, Rain, like you said, man, that was and he did it at MTE last year. MTE last year was the 1st time he did that.
Yep.
I think he loved it so much that he's just like, I'm doing it everywhere now.
Yeah, it's dope.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, so now that we got Mike back up and running and everything like that, so I've had a couple of ideas, topic ideas for shows revolving around ceramic coatings, and they all kind of wouldn't fill up an episode. I don't think so. I figured we'd just kind of throw them all in the blender, chop them up. I wanted to have you guys on. Mike, you've been, around ceramic coatings for a long time, with Ceramic Pro and then 22 PLE and now starting Aquatek. And Rain, you've been around it, for a long time too. And you're very kind of like blunt and to the point with, no matter if it's the one you're using or not. So I thought, you know what, man, these two guys would be, really, really great guys to have on and come on and talk about this. So
Appreciate it.
So I'm gonna, I guess, first off, preface this because I know Stats will probably give me some shit along with some other people that, yes, I do understand that I work for a coating company. Yes, I do understand that we are going to talk about some things that, might make some coating companies, feel certain kind of ways.
I'm the only one who don't work for a coating company, so
yeah. So take it however it is. That's what this podcast is about. I separate the podcast from everything else that I do, and our job is to bring content. And I think these are some some pretty good things to bring up. So so the first one I wanted to kind of talk about is coding cults. There's so many installers or detailers that, and I don't necessarily know that it's a bad thing or whatever, but like when they're in it, they're in it. But sometimes it feels a little bit, like not just drinking the Kool-Aid, but they're just, brainwashed into, this is what the coding does. This is how you do it. This is they're just regurgitating the information. They don't really have a lot of information themselves to kind of back it up. So, in your guys' experience, and the time and everything like that, what are your guys' thoughts on, the coding cults, as I would call them? Good thing, bad thing?
It's like anything else. It depends on who and what you're talking about in the context. Like you hear that word, the cult. Oh, you're in the Angelwax cult, or you're in the IGL cult, or you're in this and you're in that. And that's just, it is what it is. Like you said, it could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing.
Yeah.
When you get to talking to people very quickly, well, once you've been around the industry for a while, and you can separate the bullshit from people that really know what they're talking about, and they're not just being parrots and repeating stuff.
Right.
You find out what's what. And it is funny though, because that's no matter what, you put 100 people in a room and you all are there for the same thing, you're going to pick out, there's going to be a clique that forms, because there's going to be a smaller group of people that are like, oh, this is my type of person. He's an asshole, but he's funny or whatever. Bruno gets it. Like there's a thing in the military, like, oh, this guy's good at this. This guy's good at this. You can all be looking in the same direction and seeing different shit. So, like I said, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing until it gets to the point. And I'll throw it. This is not a ceramic coating company, but if you've been on any forums or any detailing groups, there's a wipe on clear coat company out there that, Jesus Christ, Icon Rock Clear. Yeah, I said it. I don't care. Sue me. They probably will. I'll probably get a phone call. But those guys, oh my Jesus Christ. You ask them, like I've seen interactions where people were genuinely interested in learning more. And they're like, oh, you got to come to our training to find out. Well, where's the training? Oh, at my shop. How much is the training? Well, you got to do a $10,000 buy-in. I'm like, gee, that's why you're pushing that Kool-Aid. You're financially invested to do so. So as bad as it is with some, like probably ceramic coating groups, there's other industries that I've seen that are so much worse.
Exactly. Hey, I'm going to bring on, we got Brandon Johnson joining us as well. So, hey, Brandon, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's up, man? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir, we can. Hey, Brandon, I don't know if you know Rain. I don't know if you know Mike. There's Rain and Mike.
Hey, guys.
Brandon's been around for a long time too. So Brandon, you kind of jumped in at a great time. Mike, I'll give you a chance to also kind of answer. I'll just kind of fill Brandon in. So we're kind of talking about detailing cults. The guys that just, full on drink the Kool-Aid, regurgitate all the information, don't really have, any, I don't want to say experience, but, they just go strictly off of whatever the coding company tells them. They don't really kind of try it out themselves and whatnot. So we're basically just kind of ask the question, is that good thing or bad thing? And Rain was just kind of, saying that it could go either way. And then he decided to drop a bomb about a company that I'm not going to re-say the name, but yeah. so that's kind of where we're at. But
why are we saying the name? So who's withholding the information?
I think, man, if I can jump in real quick, it's really in detailing. There's a lot of tribalism where it seems like there's these camps that just kind of, evolve, and it's for whatever reason. As soon as kind of coatings became a thing, coatings became the thing that everybody latched onto. Everybody kind of that was that was their flag. They were gonna go to whatever company that was. And early on, there wasn't a whole lot of companies, so we're kind of limited. But as it started to get more saturated and a lot more companies coming on, and then it kind of became like bees going from one thing to another, to another, to another. It's like there's a group of people that a new company starts up, and then they all swarm over, and they kind of hover and see what it's about. And then they look and they're like, is this our new thing? No. Okay. Now the next one, and then the next one. And a lot of them are affected by, the marketing that gets put out there, right? Rain just touched on something that's like, yeah, there's been a lot of marketing and things of certain companies that are out there that, new installers or new detailers listen to that stuff and they're like, wow, is that something I should be looking to? I don't know. The claims sound, everybody's looking for magic in a bottle, and once to get into it. I mean, I was in with a company that, probably arguably regarded probably one of the largest out there was, Ceramic Pro. I mean, they had a large following, of people that came into the fold, and then it just becomes the loyalty part of it, the branding and everything else. I see it even with us at Aquatek, where we're, even as such a young company, people are rocking the Aquatek stuff and doing it already.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of responsibilities on the company's part. That comes with some responsibility. I mean, you can't just have people come over and have that. Even you don't want a cult, that's not what you want it to be. You want it to be part of the network and things, and part,
right,
but not where there's a threshold, I think, where that responsibility comes out of the window, and now it gets into that culty status. Now it's like, let's just say whatever, let's just start making crazy Kool-Aid and let's everybody just drink from this.
I love the brand. I love the brand placement. That was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there is a Kool-Aid in here. It's Celsius, not that they sponsor us or anything, but they, but it could be, or it could be a
Star Watch offers.
Speaking of Colts, it could be a Stanley Cup, right? That's almost that, right? So people see that stuff, and as detailers are no different. It's just like trends, and then once they latch on, and some guys, I mean, I've seen some people that they'll go to war on they'll die on that hill, man, of whatever coating company it is, and no matter what it is that you tell them, or how bad they are, or how crappy or difficult it is to install, you'll never get them to change their mind.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Brandon, what about you?
As far as what?
Well, I mean, what are your thoughts on, kind of that coding cult, the people that just blindly follow whatever a coding company says, and they're not, trying it or experimenting, for themselves to, get real data, real information.
So I think that's very unfortunate because, like he said, say Ceramic Pro is a perfect example. When coatings came out, there was very few of them. There was just a couple. And I did my own, product testing. I imported a few of them and I tested them, and I decided to go with C-Quartz. And so I've been with C-Quartz. I'm probably one of the few, again, detailers that are still with the same coating that he started with. So I imported C-Quartz. Everybody thought it was a snake oil. Everybody thought ceramic coatings were snake oil at first. So I got railed pretty good online for importing the snake oil, and did my own testing myself. But a lot of people should, so to say, regurgitate what these manufacturers say, because it should be that they should be setting the standard. So them following what a manufacturer is saying, it sucks, because some of these detailers aren't educated, and a lot shouldn't be, on new products and new things that come out. They should lean towards the manufacturer and go off of what they say. Some of these guys don't even understand what proper product testing is. They just think that, I throw this on a test hood outside and fucking hit it with some products and see what happens. So, the following and the cult that gets ingrained with these companies, and like he said, some guys will get on there, they'll die on that hill. They'll get on and defend it, and they have no idea what they're even talking about. They're just repeating what they heard or what they said, not even understanding that someone else has some tangible evidence to dispute the fact, and they'll die on that hill. They will literally die on that hill. But I think it's nuts, the cults that get involved with these. Look, coatings today are almost like paint protection film today. they're all pretty good coatings. There's very few out there that's just like fucking trash. Most of these coating companies have it figured out, just like PPF now. PPF today is leaps and bounds from what we started with, and so really to get so involved and so culty after a brand, I think it's nuts. Now I think loyalty is very important. Loyalty means a lot to me. That's why, like I said, I started with CarPro. I had CarPro before Corey had it, and I've been with them ever since. Now I've tested products, and there's other products that I still will use on side of CarPro that people don't qualify for our higher end packages. And I like to see what's out there, and I'm always open. That's another thing that people get caught up on. They get, they're so afraid to learn because of their egos, and so afraid to open up to a new brand that's out there. And I think that's a bad thing, to get caught up in that kind of cult. Now, having the loyal clique and your friends, I think that's great. But, to some of the extreme that some people take this to, I think is a little nuts. Yeah.
Well, we still got you, and you kind of brought it up because maybe we'll kind of go back in reverse order. Mike's having issues again. So you touched on loyalty. So that was kind of another topic. So maybe let's jump into that. Like, what are your thoughts on, the fact that a lot of detailers are not loyal or don't stay loyal to, one brand? It seems like it's, kind of the kid with the new toy, right? Like, oh, the new one comes out and it's a shiny new object. It's a new toy. And it's like, oh, well, I'm done playing with it. Right. It's like, I'm done playing with Woody. Now here's Buzz.
Right. Right.
Like when Woody is still, badass and does everything that it ever did for you. But sometimes I feel like maybe some detailers, and again, like Mike kind of, pointed on with, on the cult side of it, of these little groups that kind of break off or whatever, it's, feels like maybe, hey, well, these guys over here are doing this new brand now, so like I need to go be like them. So what are your thoughts on the loyalty of it?
Man, I think loyalty, should be important. I don't think it should be looked at as a cult. If you find a good team to rock with, if you find a good, solid company that believes in the core values that you believe in. And I think that's another thing with coatings. One of the reasons I haven't jumped is I just haven't found a company that aligns with my, my beliefs about coatings. And that's hard. Some of these people, everybody got in that race of let's get to a longer warranty. Let's get to advertising, throwing out there, our coating's going to last longer. And I think that's important to staying loyal to something. You need to find something that aligns with your core values as you and your business and your business model. And I think that's very important with being loyal to a brand. I see these guys jumping, and it's almost like you said, the shiny object. I think a lot of these people try things to maybe think it's going to make them successful. Like, let me jump to this brand and it's going to instantly shoot me up, or it's going to do this. And like he said, about Ceramic Pro did a lot of things right. In the beginning, their coating was terrible. There was so many terrible things about Ceramic Pro, but there were so many things they did right. And that helped a lot of people. And I think some people kind of expect some coating, some new shiny object to be that silver bullet to propel them to stardom and, rags to riches, so to say, and instead of getting with the company, aligning with core values and rocking with that company and helping push and promote that company. Because one thing I don't see in this industry that I think should be is people should, companies should do better with brand ambassadors.
Right.
I see a lot of these guys kind of jump on as a temporary brand ambassador for a company, and nobody really utilizes a brand ambassador the way that they should be. And they allow people to jump around. I think that's terrible, because some of the bigger names in our industry do that. They jump around to every single thing, and I think that's a bad look for them.
Right.
I think it's a terrible look.
Right.
Agreed, 100%.
And Rain, I'll let you jump in because Mike had audio issues, had to jump out. Mike, you back now? Can you see everybody?
I'm back and I can see everybody now. Yeah,
okay,
I don't know
cool.
what
So
Mac problems.
Yeah, so Rain, since you were able to hear all that, what are your thoughts on, that kind of, loyalty of bouncing around? And
well, and that's the thing. There's, again, before I ramble, I'm a firm believer in there's absolutely no absolutes, right? So you have different people with different reasons or different motivations. When I first got into detailing, before I even had an LLC or a fucking Facebook business page or anything, I'd probably spent $3,000 or $4,000 on products. I wanted to try everything out. I was naturally curious, and I loved what I was doing. I was like, oh, well, let me try this. Well, let me try this. Let me try this, and that's part of it. You see people, and I've heard product reps like higher ups are like, oh, he's a coding whore. He's a brand hopper. Well, so what? Like, let them find out what works for them.
Right.
But the loyalty part and the cult part, that's a fine line between what gets considered as what. And it comes down to, like what Brandon was talking about, it comes down to integrity. If the integrity of the people that are selling you product or you're installing their product, if your values align with theirs and they take care of you and you take care of them, it's a mutually beneficial thing for everybody involved. There's no reason to go anywhere else. There's shiny stuff. Yeah, there's always a new thing coming out that's the next best thing. But if you stick with a brand and help them develop their product, that part I'm living proof of it. I shouldn't be where I'm at. I've been in I've said this 1,000 times. I've been in the right place at the right time around the right people. And I've had an open mind and listen. And you've been around, like I said, you've been around the industry long enough. You can tell what's real and what's bullshit. And it's going to be a flash in the pan and what's gone. And unfortunately, some people get that, they see that shiny thing out there and they can't help but chase it.
Yeah.
And again, people, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, find out what works for you. But it gets to a point where if you're trying to advance it, you talked about this in some of your early podcasts, you would ask the question, what's the date you're going to put your polisher down? Like, what are you doing as you get older? And I'm certainly getting there myself. People don't think about that. They don't think about the bridges they're burning on their way to getting to that point where, oh shit, my back hurts, my elbows hurt, I have bursitis, I have 100 different things wrong with me physically. I can't grind these 70-hour weeks out in the shop. And now you see them trying to cross bridges that they burned down, and it's sad to see, because it's people that have good things to offer, but they've burned bridges along the way, and now they can't walk back across them.
Right, one of the things that we've come across as such a young company is the fact that there's a lot of these companies that are coming into just baking just in America. They're coming in from Asia. They're not owned by anybody that's here. The guys that are running here are just reps, right? That are here, right? And they're selling, that product or whatever. We've learned as a company that's from here, we own the company, everything else, that there's a reason as to why we got into the business of this, because we always hear it's so saturated and there's so many. Why are you the thing is, why is it that we do what we do? And we're finding out that going in from a philosophy as a company of trying to do things the right way, because we've all been through all the bullshit that a lot of companies have put out there. People kind of they've been conditioned in a way because of the loyalty. They kind of like, they jump ship really quickly. As soon as things start to go south, boom, they leave. And then the next one and the next one. And they keep hopping to all these different ones. And then some of them come to us, and they think it's some kind of like gimmick or some kind of like, nah, I'm waiting for you to screw me somehow. Like this, you can't be that nice. Like, it's kind of like it's like they're used to like dealing with all this bullshit all the time. And like I said, a lot of the companies that come over, like, they got people like, hey, you just need to sell. We're owned by whatever. They like it's obviously you're in business to make money. But a lot of the philosophies and the things that go behind those companies and how they do things, it's what burns a lot of these installers and why they move to, quick. It's hard to keep the loyalty. Tommy made a comment about loyalty goes both ways. We do that like with our rewards program. It's not that I'm trying to make a sales pitch of it, but we feel that you should take care of the people that take care of you, and that's the installers. That's who your bread and butter is. And without those guys, we wouldn't survive. If we screw those guys over, they're gonna leave. So it's very
Seems
tough.
pretty simple, right?
Yeah, it seems simple, but some of the largest companies did that. I've helped start, like even paint protection film. I did a massive amount for Expel. I started with Expel when Expel had nothing. I was at their facility. They had 2 rolls of film in the back. Like,
Wow.
I did massive things for Expel, dude. And at the end of the day, they don't give a flying fuck. And that's the problem.
It's the stockholders, right?
And no one's going to call them out. That's the other thing. No one's going to hold these companies accountable. Everybody's afraid to say anything, and I'm not. I don't give a flying fuck, because
people want to say nothing because they're scared of the angry mob that's going to come after them.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too. The cult. They're afraid of the cults.
Well,
I don't give a fuck, dude. Because that's. Go ahead.
It also kind of, I think, goes back to like what Rain was saying, right? Because I've been that way, right? Like, I've had to kind of play this podcast very neutral, very Switzerland, right? Because, right, like Rain said, when I put my polisher down, right, did I burn every bridge behind me, and now I can't swim back across the river, right? So, I think sometimes people don't want to say things because you never know what comes in the future. And I've always kind of had that mindset of as long as I can swim across the river, then I'll gladly burn the bridge down, but
listen, yes and no, but the good and the bad thing is we've let so many companies get away with burning detailers in this industry. We've let so many people get away with this shit, and they kind of take advantage of it, dude. And that's terrible because it is. Like, I get it from somebody like your standpoint, or somebody that is looking to, maybe strategically place themselves later on, that can come back. And me, I'm kind of like, it sucks because sometimes I will hold my tongue, but 99% of the time, I'm going to fucking say it. If somebody does some messed up shit, I'm going to call them out, because at the end of the day, these companies need to be held accountable, for what they're doing. And at the end of the day, I can stand up and say, look, what you did was wrong. What you did as a company, how you didn't take care of this guy after everything that he did, or you didn't right this wrong. At the end of the day, that was wrong. And if nobody likes that, I don't give a fuck, because right is right and wrong is wrong. Now, if it's some shaded gray area, yeah, okay, I'm not going to get involved. But if it's cut and dry, people need to hold these companies accountable, man. And it starts off just like Aquatek. He's true, loyal, to the core, small, going to take care of everybody. And then next thing you know, they don't give a fuck. You're just another number. And I'm not saying that that's what he's going to do, because he seems like he's really into it. But I've just watched it so many times over and over. It starts off like this, and then just boom. And then
you know what we found out, and I think it's because it's the money aspect of it. So Jason and I, when Jason and I started this company, we are self-funded. For better or for worse, we didn't have a big stockholder, a big company that came in, and because then you work for them. They dictate what you do. So Jason and I were like, if the only way that we're going to make this company work, because we consider ourselves to be in the people business, it just so happens that we sell ceramic coatings, but we are first and foremost in the customer service, in the people business. That is why we do this company. It's the why as to why we do what we do. And the only other way that we're going to be able to stick to our guns and keep doing this without having that evolution of, say, oh, we're here for you and everything, and then like, man, what happened? These guys were so cool. Now they don't give a shit. Why? But because you have some big money behind you that's going, hey, we don't give a shit that you guys do. We want you to sell this. And we're like, we're going to sell a headlight restoration kit. No, we don't give a shit. We need to make money, and you need to do that. And so Jason and I did that early on. We're like, this is the only way we're going to do it. It's going to be a long road. Because we don't have millions or whatever, or overseas money that can just be dumped into a brand. We get a spokesperson, they do this, and here it goes, right? And we don't have money to go blow at, to have a huge booth at SEMA or anything. I mean, we're doing MTE, and that's, it's you're grassroots and you're starting, and a lot of what we take is kind of the Nike concept of how they started, and we're like, they stuck to their guns. Eventually, you can dictate where you are going to, how big you're going to get. But you look at the large companies, a lot of them's like, look kind of like who's behind it, who's owning it. And to your point, I think Alex is probably what you're going to touch on is just once the money comes in, money will make people do things that they never thought they would ever do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I wanted to touch on Stats had a good comment, about loyalty and support from the brands for the installers. Companies move on from detailers as soon as they stop dropping a couple of grand a month. And I think that, could be a reason why maybe, somebody's not getting the love that they were once getting from a brand, because, again, like Brandon, like you said, right? Like they started out like, hey, we're all about you. It's a big family, da 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 da. And the next thing you know, you're just another number because there's, so much more money coming in that, they can't go that way. So, that could be another reason, if you stay loyal to the people that build you up and bring you up, then, maybe there's not so much bouncing around. Yeah. But before we go into the next one, let's do a commercial break and then we'll come back and talk another topic. Be right back. Autofiber is your ultimate partner in automotive detailing. Elevate your detailing with our premium microfiber and applicators, meticulously crafted for protection. Unleash the power of precision and achieve that showroom shine. Autofiber, where innovation meets immaculate finish. Upgrade your detailing experience today. Visit autofiber.com and use the code DSP for 10% off your order. The difference is in the details. Okay. So one of the other things that I've seen a lot of people talking about, and I wanted to bring up, and Brandon, I want to start with you first, because I think, with what you've built and what you've got going on, you might have a great answer for it. Is the whole, Carfax myth? Why is it important? Or why is it a thing that, installers feel like they need a coating that registers on Carfax? I know there's a couple of coding companies out there that do register to Carfax, and, with my short time in Aquatek, even talking to some installers that are curious about, our brand, sometimes that's the first question they ask is, does it go on Carfax? 'Cause I need that. So, I'll let you handle it first, man.
Oh man, this goes back to the guy just falling for the shiny object. That's a perfect example of this. So, because realistically, let's talk about what does that do. So Carfax is supposed to be a value and history tool for a vehicle. Okay. And the reason I have a good insight on this is because I'm actually writing a software now to fix these wrongs. So if you put that a car was ceramic coated on there and it goes on the Carfax, that does absolutely zero for anybody, really. That's almost like taking pictures and putting pictures in your CRM of every single step you do to a car. That's great and cool and a cool little shiny object for you, but that does nothing, because no, let's go ahead and talk about what it should do. So what it should do is there should be some type of evaluation put on that service being done to that car. That would be the benefit of something going on at something like a Carfax. So, and this would entice a client to come to you to do a service with you, because now if they could say that, look, this car was taken care of well, it was ceramic coated, this car should be in the top 1% of resale of these vehicles. Now you're getting a value. There's a logical reason for it to be on the Carfax. Currently, there is no logical reason for it to be on the Carfax other than shiny object. It's doing nothing. You're not seeing how many steps the guy did. You're not seeing the warranty. The warranty's not transferring. It's not adding value to the fucking car. You're not seeing any of the real valuable information, and it's not in turn putting any more value on that vehicle. That's just a shiny object. That's all it is. Right. Just a sticker. They're just putting a sticker on it.
Right. And depending on, maybe the upper level type cars, right? Like if it's being put on a Ford Mustang or a Honda Accord or things like that, the next person buying it probably doesn't give a shit that it's got a ceramic coating on it.
Yeah, but imagine if they did. Imagine if that Mustang owner bought that car and said, look, this car was coated by Alex at his detailing shop. Here's a picture of the bottle. Here's a picture of every single step that he did. Here's every single picture before, after. And then, oh, by the way, this added $3,000 to this vehicle because it shows how well this car was taken care of. It documents every single step of the process. It adds value to the car. It adds value to the client, and it adds value to you because you're adding true value now to a vehicle. So that's what it should be. But people aren't thinking. They're just going for that shiny object. But the software is on its way out, being ready to be doing that, and it's going to have clients coming to you to want to do these services because it's going to actually add tangible value. And we're going to reach out. We want every ceramic coating company involved in this. We want every detailer involved in this. We want everybody involved in this. We're not going to say, oh, this coating versus that coating. It's all about the documentation and the proof to back what was done and adding real value to the car, because now it adds no real value. I have this all the time. Even guys in my mentorship program, I actually just had this conversation with one of them last night. He's like, I want to use this coating because it goes on the Carfax. And I'm like, what the fuck does that do? Tell me what the fuck that does, because it does nothing. It does nothing.
And
well,
Vincent's got a good thing here. He says, Vincent says it's like, maintenance records, like general maintenance records.
Yeah. My software covers everything from general maintenance to coatings to literally the TPMS sensor. It logs and tracks every single thing on the car. It shows you who did it, when they did it, how long it's going to last, when it expires, and pushes you to go back to, and the next person that buys the car, now they get to see. They didn't even know Alex existed, but they get that car, they get their car, they punch in their VIN number, and they say, holy shit, look at this dude. He did all this stuff to this car. Look at all the documentation with it. I'm bringing this car back to that guy.
Right.
But it's funny. I have a brand new Hummer, one of those EV whatever things. This was done at the dealership, right? Like within a month. The guy's only had it for a month. With a brand that every detailer that's listening to this podcast would know. I'm not going to say the name, but they're very, 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 very popular.
What color is it?
It doesn't.
One of the two colors that it comes.
Yeah. And the thing is, it has the Carfax, which doesn't matter because it has a warranty.
Yeah.
But my client brought it to me because I've done his other cars, and when he bought it, the dealer's like, hey, you got to pay $2,000 for this no matter what, right? It's in the package, like when you buy it.
Oh,
and it's got this coating. And I saw and it's here in town where I live, and I'm like, here we go. And he's like, he goes, it's coated. But it's not. He goes, it's flat. I washed it. It doesn't bead.
Yep.
And I'm like, and so here is this coating that is it came in a huge wave, and there's a lot of people that install it.
Accountability. See, that's another thing for my software. Accountability.
There's that. The warranty is worthless. We don't offer a warranty because that's not even worth. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? Then the Carfax thing, and he goes, they sold me on all this stuff, but it doesn't do what it's supposed to do.
No.
And so now I gotta pay you to coat this thing.
Yep.
And he asked me today. He's like, "Hey, is it beating now?" I'm like, "Check it out. Here's a video. Look at it." That's what it was supposed to do in the first place. And that's what happens with a lot of these companies. Like, it's the shiny object. It's a Carfax, and we got this, and it doesn't matter. In my opinion, I think, and then again, going to the maintenance too. There's no like you said, Brandon. There's no accountability.
Oh, we deal with it every day. We get cars that come in. We got a brand new Mercedes AMG GT that the dealer overfilled it. We got another client that's a dentist. They changed his oil and didn't put oil back in it. Blew his brand new car up. So, I mean, all of these things, the software does, because it tells you, take a picture of the oil going in. How much oil did you put in? Take a picture of the oil coming out. Like, it literally, we made this easy. You just snap a picture and upload it. Your coating. Here's a picture of the coating. Here's a picture of the serial number. Boom, here's a picture of it going on. Boom, all of that is living, breathing proof. There's no fudging it. You come back, you check it, there it is, done. You can see who did it, when they did it, how they did it. Everything is transparent. And this instills trust, because that's another bad thing in the automotive industry in general. Trust. People don't trust fucking people anymore because of shit like that. They probably didn't put the fucking coating on the truck, but they sold that package.
The roof wasn't done at all. They didn't even touch anything on the roof. any of that stuff. The other thing that we noticed with that too is that, you know, they're putting these it's like the Carfax.
Yep.
You know, that it's just like it's a gimmick. It's like this, well, we're gonna, because we hear this a lot, is we're gonna take your business to the next level. Join our coating company and we're gonna make you this.
Yes.
Jason and I, like, that's a bunch of bullshit. Like, we tell our people, like, it's your responsibility. It's your business. Our responsibility is to make a quality product that works, and we support you however we can, customer service wise, value wise, everything else, right? But at the end of the day, it's your business, right? You're the business owner.
Yep.
It's your responsibility to take your business to the next level.
Yep.
We're just a small component of that, but we're not going to hear it to tell you where because they're used to seeing these companies are like, come to our training, you're going to be this huge mega, you're going to make, you know, all this money, we're going to take you to the next level. That it's, you know, and so they see the stuff like the Carfax came as a part of that, I think, to entice people into, like you said, the shiny object of like, oh, well, if it's on Carfax, maybe I need to get on this coating because my customers, you know, I mean, most of them, you know, they could care two shits about it. Most of my clients keep their cars for not even 2 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Know?
Right.
Rain, what about you, buddy? What do you got?
Brandon pretty much nailed it. How I feel about Carfax. It's absolutely fucking useless. I mean, we started what we were talking before we got live. You know, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to have, but it's only as good as Carfax is, and Carfax isn't like all the reasons that Brandon pointed out. Carfax to from our point of view, from the installer and from people selling coatings, who gives a shit? That's nice to have. It's a shiny thing. Sure, if that puts a feather in your cap that makes you feel good, go nuts. But it's Carfax is a joke.
Yeah,
absolute joke. I did a car a couple of weeks ago. Well, shit, a couple months ago. Time's not real. I'm not drunk. I did a car. It's a 2014 Chevy SS. Guy wanted it. It'd been beat up in the car wash. Anyways, did a lot of polishing on it. I was touching up, did a couple paint touch-ups on it, and I was polishing real slow with a 3-inch polisher and a burn-through clear coat. I measured it before. It was measuring like 6.5 mils most of the car. And when I burned through, I called him and immediately told him, I said, hey, man, do you know, I guess you know that your car has been resprayed. Has it been an accident before? Because you could tell it looked like a damn tree. There was rings. There was base coat, clear coat, base coat, clear coat where I burned through. And he's like, no, man, I've had the car since it's had 4 miles on it. It's never been in a body shop. It's never been in a wreck. Turns out it obviously had some damage in transport, and the dealership that he bought it from resprayed the whole car before he ever took delivery of it. Do you think they told him that? Do you think they documented that on Carfax if the car's been refinished? Of course not. So that's, yeah, Carfax is.
Well, and Vincent brought up a good point here. So Vincent says he says, I hide it. Accidents from insurance all the time. Doesn't affect Carfax. So I've heard of that before, right? I've heard that, you know, there are ways around fixing things and it not going on Carfax. I mean, obviously not.
Go to a body shop and tell them you're going to pay out of pocket and you're not going to be a part of an insurance claim.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we run body shop in my shop as well. So yeah, all it does, we have clients like that all the time. They just pay cash.
Yeah. Or if you're really in with your body shop guy, you know, you've been going to them for decades. They'll do you a solid and be like, yeah, you know, I mean,
well, it's the insurance company that reports. It's the insurance company. So as long as you keep it off of insurance, you're fine. That's where the issue is. But that's also where the flaw is. Because say if a car, this is how fucked up Carfax is. So if a car is in an accident, say an owner comes to you, buys a brand new Porsche, brings it to you right out the gate, 3 miles on it, tells you, hey, I want you to ceramic coat this thing. I want you to put paint protection film on it, and I want you to put a color wrap on it. So he's just going to spend fucking a boatload of money real quick with you. You do this car, he pulls out and goes to a stop sign, and a woman hits him and damages his front fender and headlight and front bumper. Well, the problem now is Carfax only looks at the value of the repair. So they look at front bumper costs this, headlight costs this, fender costs this. And then they're going to say the car is worth this. And then they're going to look at the repair. But what they're not going to do is when you hit them with the extra bill to redo the coating, you hit them with the extra bill to redo the PPF, and you hit them with the extra bill to redo the wrap, that adds like it's more damage. So now the Carfax is going to hit that car for a heavy to moderate fucking accident, because thinking that the accident was terrible, because they only go off of the number value. They're not going off of, no, this guy had 3 layers of protection on his car, or this guy actually took care of his car. No, they only look at the value and say, oh my God, there was $25,000 worth of damage on this car. This car was in a terrible fucking accident, when really that wasn't the case. So that's another big flaw with Carfax. Major flaw. Major.
Okay, and then because we're running slightly long, I'm surprised Jason hasn't nodded out on us yet.
No, this is good shit. Keep it going.
That's
Yeah.
a good one.
So the last topic that I kind of have is the technology side of it, right? So it's not, 10, 15 years ago when coatings were just coming out. The technology and has gotten a lot easier. Where, I think Brandon, you said it earlier, like the same as like the PPF side of it, right? Like coatings are pretty much a lot the same nowadays. I mean, I say it a lot on the podcast. It's the same shit, different bottle. Now I know that everybody's going to be like, oh, but it's not. But, like everybody I talk to that says that, I go, yeah, but it kind of is. It's the same ingredients. Like, yes, Aquatek might be mixed a little bit different than Angelwax, might be mixed a little bit different than C-Quartz, Ceramic Pro, and on and on and on, right? But they're basically the same ingredients that are used in them to make them. So, with the technology getting a lot easier and a lot simpler, Aquatek has a great easy on, easy off application, a super strong, coating. But there still are those companies out there that are still kind of sticking to that old school technology of multiple layers, quick flash times, which makes it, so hard to level down. Rain, you had brought up the topic of IR curing. And I know that is a little bit of a benefit versus kind of a negative, but some coating companies will not let you, play their reindeer games if you don't, IR light, IR cure. So what are your guys' take on, some of that, why does it have to be so hard to do something that now is so easy to do? And whoever wants to jump in first, we'll start there.
Money. A lot of companies don't want to change. Why would they? If the people, like we talked about before, that blind loyalty that people have built up to some of these companies, you can get your own way. Like there's I'm not going to say no names on this one. I won't talk about another coating brand. Sorry. Spoiler alert. But there's coating brands that like 7 or 8 years ago, like this was top shelf. And now the rest of the industry has caught up with them or surpassed them, but they've got their core people that are bought in so hard that they're like, oh, this works for me. I'm not going to change. I don't need to do this. And they'll make excuses for it. Like they'll justify their purchase. It's like the guy that buys a $10,000 TV instead of the $2,000 TV. It's that TV might be 10% better in picture quality, but it doesn't justify the cost jump. But they'll justify it and be like, I got the top, I got the best of the best. Sorry, that was rambling. Sidebar. People get stuck in their ways, man, and it comes down to the money. You see companies that have blown up, gotten real big, real popular, and you look at, like I said, 6 or 7 years ago, they were one of the best out there. Look at their makeup of their company now. Do they still have the same product reps, or is there a revolving door? They got new people in pushing the same old products.
Yeah,
like there's no financial reason for them to change if people are still buying into what they're selling.
Yeah,
well, and they're dictated again by the larger companies who either manufacture or some of them don't have any control. Of what goes into it. Like you're selling what you're signing. You're just a distributor. you don't even own the company. You may be the face of the company, and people may think you own it, but you don't own it.
Yeah.
You're owned by a huge company somewhere out in Asia somewhere. And a lot of times, like for us, like Jason and I found out that a lot of it was they don't want to invest in the technology that's out there to make it easier, to make it faster. Why? Because it's easier to sell. You make more money. You're selling 2 bottles to coat PPF, a base coat and a top coat. Now you got to buy 2 bottles that you're going to make more money. We looked at that. We're like, that's just so stupid.
Yeah.
Just make one product, the one bottle to do PPF. It's one example that we looked at. We're like, that's the kind of shit that we hate. It's like, you don't need to do that. Why? Because it's to, like you said, to make more money to do that. The technology's out there now that they're going to be faster cures. It's going to be a faster cure time. It's going to be faster, more efficient, because for us, at the end of the day, the paint correction is still what you're charging your money for. That's where your talents lies. That's where the experience is, the expertise. That's what you bust your ass to do. If you're charging, it's because you're charging for the paint correction. At least I hope so. Alex and I, we're talking about sometimes these guys that race all the way to the bottom, they're charging $400 for coatings. Like, then what the hell are you charging for your paint correction? Like for us,
Right.
we thrive on one of our very earliest campaigns that we still do put out there is we know that the gloss doesn't come from the coating itself. That's just a protection. It's
Bro,
from
I've said that for years, that people are overpricing their coatings and underpricing their correction work. I've said that for a long time.
Exactly, right? So I mean, that's your expertise, and was it Aaron Knox that was on here that said, what if tomorrow there was no more coatings, no more PPF, whatever?
Yes.
Can you still manage your business and people just come for you for paint corrections? Are you still going to charge $400 to do all that polishing? The prep hasn't changed much. The prep and the washing and the paint correction, it might get easier a little bit. Some of the products, obviously, we can take out more scratches, but then the paints change, and it's evolving like everything else in detailing. But at the same time, it still takes us a long ass time to do all that work, and that's the bread and butter of what you're doing. So for us, with seeing the technology and when we're doing it's like we just want to make it easier. And why some of these companies are still doing the 2 coats, you got to wait 12 hours, wait till the next day, do all that. Man, it just creates a logjam in everybody's shop. It's a pain in the ass. And again, it's why, if it ain't broke, why fix it, right? Like it's like you guys were saying that guys are already in that whole cult. They already drink the Kool-Aid. No matter how much you try to get them out of that, they're like, don't you realize how bad it is, to how long it's taking you? They don't care, and they're going to pay. What is it? I don't know what the most expensive coating would be, but some of these coatings are ridiculous in price as well.
I've seen some of them pushing $400 nowadays,
and they're a pain in the ass to install.
Yeah.
So how does that work? At the end of the day, it's a business. You're detailing. It's a business. It's like, if you're paying that much and putting a pain in the ass coating, like, why?
Yeah, Brandon, I wanna have you talk on it, because I know we were talking beforehand, and Mike bringing up the whole polishing as part of the the main thing with it, and I know you had mentioned that to me before we came on air, is that a lot of people still don't think that polishing is the main thing. So I wanted you to kind of explain what you were telling me earlier.
So, yeah, a lot of people I see get that topic mixed up, but a lot of people weren't around when coating started. Some of these companies, or pretty much all of these companies that started out early on in the game, it was a requirement to polish a car before. It wasn't an option to be a standard for some of these higher up coatings. You had to polish the car. I signed paperwork like I was buying a fucking house when I imported the first professional ceramic coating, because it was fucking nuts. Like they had all kinds of stuff. And then, it goes to this simple, easy money, but that's what everything's getting to. It's getting to the simple, easy money for, these distributors and manufacturers. And it's getting to the simple, easy money to the detailers. And it's across the board. The internet is doing this to people. Everybody thinks that there's an overnight there's an overnight success plan. There's an overnight this that, you know, they don't have to put in the fucking work. They don't have to grind. They don't have to do all of these things. There's something, they're just missing that one small piece, and tomorrow their bank account is just going to fucking explode. And that goes with everybody. The manufacturers and distributors, they're not reinvesting, and this is why they're getting stuck on the old coatings. They're not reinvesting back into their products, back into their people. That's like MTE. MTE is a small, tiny event. I applaud every person that shows up there. You know why? Because that is for this industry. Detailers need to be bigger at MTE. We don't have many events. SEMA is massive. We're shit at SEMA. But events like MTE, we should be there as a industry putting on. Every one of us, every manufacturer. If you're taking people's money and being part, you should need to be giving back to the community. You need to be there, involved, shaking hands, talking to people, representing your product, reinvesting in your products, education on your products. All of this goes leaps and bounds, and it goes with everybody. It goes from, like I said, distributors to guys that work in shops, everybody. Even with my mentorship program, these kids think that there's some overnight success. No, you have to put in the work. I can tell you every single thing to do, but if you don't do it, I can't do it for you. I can't do the work for you. You need to put the time and the grind in. And that's what these companies need to do. These companies need to put the time and the grind in. They do. They need to look into newer products, because what you had 10 years ago, if it was the fucking best, it was the best 10 years ago, man. And the same with the PPF industry, the same thing. It goes for everything. The entire, automotive industry as a whole is the same thing. This industry has evolved so much just in the last 10 years. I'm not even going to go back 15 years, because it was waxes. Okay. We were spending days paint correcting a car with old technology. Like, we were fucking spending days polishing cars just to fucking wax it. Okay. So today, to have a ceramic coating or PPF to go on to protect that is great. But, again, these companies, they get lazy, and they don't reinvest in themselves. Everyone needs to reinvest in themselves. That's another thing I teach my guys. Continuously reinvest, learn something new. After you master paint correction and wet sanding, move on to something else. Stay in the same industry, but move on to another craft.
Yeah,
it's
kind of like this,
man.
Like they say, right? If you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards, right? Yeah. And that's that can go with all the way across the board, whether it's the the brands or the manufacturers in the industry, detailers in their shops or whatever. Mike, what were you gonna say?
No, I said it's the grind. You have to keep doing it. For us, man, we knew it was going to be a slow go, and you're starting, from basically grassroots funded and doing all that. Be different if you see a lot of these companies that come up, and we can think of at least easily at the top of our head at least 3 that come on the scene, huge, right? And it's why? Because they've got crazy money behind it, right? Millions that somebody invested. Well, if we had millions, yeah, we'd have all the fancy schmancy stuff. And then when people sign on with us, they're like, hey, do we have the click pens? Do we have this? Do we have the easy, man? We invest our money in the product. That's our main responsibility, in the product, in what counts. Stuff like this and whatever branding, it's all part of it. But at the same time, your responsibility is to invest into the company, invest in yourself. Jason and I always say that we're the last to eat at our table. Everybody else eats before us. We're the last ones. Because eventually that's the only way we're going to build this thing, if we don't keep grinding it out. And that's what happens. We see that with all the companies. It's like they get all this crazy money, overseas money, boom, and then they got it. Why bother? They don't care. It's all about money. They're not going to go invest and make the formula better or easier to buy or anything like that. They're not going to do that. We did that where, ours initially was a 5-day curing process. Now it's 48 hours. Why? Because we invested in the money to make that a possibility for faster, time, for 3-hour cure time or attack times, all that kind of stuff. Jason and I could have done what everybody else does. And it's like, nah, it's going to cost too much money. Everybody else is already doing it this way. Let's just stick with what works, right? Everybody's conditioned this way, so let's just stick with it. And we're like, no, we're not going to do that. Why? I think being a company that's if your philosophy is to do the right thing, it's different. And I think people aren't used to seeing that because they're conditioned to all the shit that's out there. And, you know, I always consider ourselves kind of a breath of fresh air along with some of our colleagues and a lot of the companies like, you know, like Angelwax that, you know, we're on the same, we have, there's a group of us that are kind of on the same wavelength, you know, that we align with. And we're like, yeah, man, like they understand and they're like, we're with that. Right. But then there's a lot of these mega companies where like, dude, it's, you know, it's cutthroat. They stick to what would have forever and they've gotten away with it. And people are still loyal to them for whatever reason. It's just like, you know, the people that you're like, dude, you know that relationship is trash, but you're still in it. You're every day, but you're still in it. You love them, right? You're gonna die for them. You'll do whatever it takes. And I'm still baffled by that mentality. It's like you don't know a good thing, you know. So I mean, it sucks. You know, it's unfortunate.
Well, I think also there's some misinformed and miseducated people that get in positions as well. You know, I see people that are in the industry that's been here a long fucking time, and they should know better than some of the shit they're saying. And they're the first person to jump on the internet and start spreading bullshit. And it's like, holy God. And they're big ambassadors for companies. And you know, that's
the mind-boggling part to me too, man.
That's fucking terrible, man. I'm like, holy shit, man. And it really it's baffling. It's baffling, but that's a terrible, you know, that unfortunately that cripples companies, you know. You put the wrong person there that's saying the wrong shit and not moving your company forward. They're like, "Oh, this is what we're going to do and this is great." No, that's fucking terrible. But also, you have to be willing to take those risks, just like you're saying. You could have done the same exact thing. You could do the cookie cutter program, the cookie cutter way, but no, you're going to try something, and you have to be willing to take those risks. And that's another big thing in this industry. A lot of these guys don't understand the proper risk to take. You know, they won't ever take a risk, or they'll take some stupid fucking risk on some of these crazy things that, you know, I don't want to say it, but you know, some of these crazy coatings that's making these claims, and you basically got to go sell your fucking sister to buy into this shit. And yeah,
ours resist gummy bears.
Yeah,
and M&M. So
you're not talking about a coating company that says it works like PPF, are you?
Yeah, man, shit, that's one of them. Jesus God, man. But that again, that's a perfect example, because how long has this guy been in this industry? That guy's been in the industry a long fucking time. He should know better than that.
Years.
He should know better than that. But no, there he is on the fucking internet, dude. Like, holy shit, you know. And he's not the only one. I would say, unfortunately, there's 9 out of 10 of these motherfuckers that have been here a long fucking time.
And it goes way back, right? It goes way back at least 10 years at least, where there's people that have, you know, light shit on fire or whatever it is.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Get on there.
Yes.
We've all seen that stuff. And it's like, man, you know, you're smacking things and you got your plate and you're just beating the shit out, you know.
Yeah.
And it's those kind of things that people use to sell stuff like that. It's like the old you know, that
ShamWow or whatever the fuck it was, all those infomercials.
Yeah, right. You know, it's like kind of like that thing. And, you know, after a while, I mean, give it some, I think in the beginning when all that stuff happens, you know, because they came in strong with all that. But now that it's been years and you're like, damn, your coating didn't even last 6 months, bro. Like,
yeah, but you also need to look at the people. You also need to look at the people that were big ambassadors for those companies. And where did they move to now? Where are they at? Because they're still floating around. They're just wearing a different fucking jacket, and they're doing the same thing. And the problem is this industry, again, instead of calling people out on it, we've just let it go and let it go and let it go. Like Ceramic Pro. I'm sorry, if we would have came right out the gate and been like, bullshit, Ceramic Pro wouldn't have got as big as it was. It wouldn't have. Like, their marketing was killer, but if you came out, that's like this other big company that you're having to buy into. We're basically shut that shit down on the detailing forums. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what needs to be done. People need to be called out and held accountable for the bullshit, because it's not fair, especially to companies like yours. You're smaller. You don't have the marketing. You don't have all these big paychecks behind you to do all this shit, but you're in the industry grinding. You know what I'm saying? So you are the type of company that people need to be working with and lifting up. Meanwhile, we're letting these other guys just ram over the top of you with bullshit. The fucking bullshit.
How do we do that though? That's a question I have, and I know Bruno. I can see his face. He's about to explode. Bruno, and I've done it before. Before I've taken a bigger face on with Angelwax. I'm a little more cautious with what I say.
Yep.
But I still call shit. I still call shit like I see it. But here's the thing: like I hear this a lot from people. Like there's so much drama in the industry. There's drama in any industry.
Yeah.
Like you get into paint and body tech, go into a fucking body shop forum or people that do that shit. Jesus Christ, that's another level.
Yeah.
And it's everywhere, right? What you focus on is what you're going to see the most of. If you were looking for something negative, you're going to fucking find it. Now, there's a balance, right? Like we know there's people that are pushing bullshit, and people like you guys that have been in the industry and been around a while and been exposed to it. We know what's real and what isn't, what's maybe a little bit of an embellishment versus what's okay. This is absolute garbage bullshit. Like we know it. But the thing is, if say I call a guy out, and it's somebody that we've mentioned, but not his name, this dude sent me like a 12-paragraph message on Facebook because of a comment I made on somebody else's post. And it started off with, I'm not going to give you my resume because that's not important. And then this motherfucker gave me his fucking resume of everything he's ever done in the automotive industry for the past 40 fucking years. I'm like, cool. I was swimming in my dad's balls when you were doing the shit you're talking about.
I was still on his toes. Yeah.
Nobody fucking cares. Like if you're genuine and real and authentic, that shit will outlast any amount of money thrown at bullshit. But people will buy into the shiny bullshit. Yeah. Now, as far as calling people out, I've been thinking about this for a while. Like, there should be like a blacklist. Like, okay, this person that represents this company is pushing this line of bullshit. Who do we put that to? Who do we like? How do we fix this? How do we get this person? I don't want to say.
Don't bring that shit to the IDA, dog.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Listen, you just call them out. I guarantee you, if you call these motherfuckers out enough, if you say, "Look, dude, you said that you were in fucking Vietnam and you're 24 fucking years old," and you blast this motherfucker over and over, he's gonna fucking stop saying he was in fucking Vietnam. Okay,
right.
Like, and that's all it is. But everybody is terrified to say something. And listen, man. Some of you guys that are, y'all kind of have to stay neutral, I get it. I understand. But at the same time, there's quite a few guys like myself that, dude, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. I can call a guy out on Facebook. He's not going to affect my motherfucking paycheck at the end of the day. My shop's killing it. My clients don't give a flying fuck if he's lying about fighting in Vietnam or not. I don't fucking care. But we need to call these people out and just hold them accountable. And look, these people need to there's no reason to come on here and lie. We all started from nowhere. You know what I'm saying? We all are learning. I'm still learning shit every fucking day, man. So, I mean, we're constantly learning, but to come in here and, pitch this bullshit and then get away with it because it just feeds. It makes our industry terrible because, again, I'm watching these guys make these ceramic fucking coating ads every day. And it's great to see these guys doing half of the proper thing to make this ad, but the way that they're pitching the ads of, it prevents from bird shit, it prevents from acid rain, it prevents from it does all of this shit that it's not going to fucking do. It's terrible, but he's just repeating what Bozo fucking told him that's been in the industry for 27 fucking years. And that's the problem. No one called Bozo out. They just let Bozo fucking just keep Bozoing. And now everybody thinks Bozo is a fucking guru, and he's not. He has no fucking idea what he's doing. He flew by the seat of his pants. He had a fucking mobile detailing business. He probably worked out of a fucking mobile home fucking trailer, and that's where he ended, which there's nothing wrong with starting in a mobile home trailer. I don't give a fuck if you started on a bicycle, but you didn't make it to where you're saying you made it to be giving this type of advice. And that's the fucking problem. These guys are trying to give advice on something they never did themselves. They're bullshitting the industry, and they're making our industry worse. Because now you have a client that comes to you that he saw somebody else's ad, and now he's at you, want to know why there's fucking water spots on his coating. Well, Mike, I didn't fucking tell you the shit prevented from fucking water spots.
That's true.
Yeah, and those are the guys that what we get, unfortunately, that come to us and go like, well, what's the contact angle? And it's like all of a sudden with all this like newfound chemistry, right? And I'm like, dude, we manufacture this shit, and I couldn't tell you exactly every whatever nuance of on the molecular whatever.
Yes,
and
the
then somebody will
molecular
say,
level.
well, maybe you should. If you don't, then it's like.
No, that's the chemist fucking job. That's the chemist job. Thank you. I'm not a fucking chemist.
Exactly. Like we pay people that are 100 times smarter than us to figure that shit out. That's their job to do that. But they get so indoctrinated to that all that nonsense, and we're like, man, we just can't. They come on there, and then you just can't get them to see the forest through the trees anymore because they don't even know what way is up. They've been fed all this shit forever, and then to make those companies to get on their good graces, they keep, putting it out there. They're trolling out there,
regurgitating.
They're going out there and putting on their big trolling and going, well, what about this? Or what, they're calling people out on shit when, here they are, using something that they're more responsible for that. I mean, we see where we've got a lot of resistance from huge companies where they're like, well, we'd like to use your product, but we can't because this product told us that if we use yours, we can't buy their PPF anymore.
Yeah.
And we can't do that, right? And we're like, are you kidding me? And like, yeah, but
I tried to consult Expel on that.
Our guys hate installing
Sorry, I had
this
to expel
product.
Something from my lungs.
Oh, I'll blast the fuck out of them.
They absolutely hate installing it. We have to install it on the down low. We install it, whatever. We can't post it. And it's like, it's such crazy shit that you're being forced as a company to install a product that your guys don't like to use. It takes forever. It's a pain in the ass.
And it doesn't live up to expectations.
But that you're out there and you're repping the colors and you're doing all the stuff and whatever. And it's just like, I don't know. Is it true that with $100 you can make a monkey dance? I don't know.
Yeah.
For us, we're like, we don't tell you that, hey, if you only install our stuff and we don't want you installing anybody else's stuff, we don't give a shit what you install. If it works for you, you need 3, 4 code, whatever the hell it is, that's fine. At the end, we know that if we do our part, eventually you're going to see it and go, why do I need all that when I can this is the easiest? And that's typically what happens in our case. But we've seen this with a lot of companies, and it's like the same stuff. And we're like, geez, man, like, it's like Jason and I always say, it's like you got in this business to start as a business owner, but you're being dictated what you can and can't do by a company. I mean, I think you should have the right to choose whatever coating or product you want to use.
100%.
If I'm telling Alex, hey, you can't use Oberk, you have to use, this. And he's like, dude, I love the Oberk. Well, no, if you want to keep using Aquatek, you got to use this other, that's so ridiculous.
Expel, whenever they decided to do coatings, they contacted me and was like, hey, man, look, we need your feedback on this. We know you've been in the ceramic game since the beginning. Please, we're sending you our first couple samples. We need you to fucking run it through. I said, stop. Don't do this. Please tell me why. So they gave me the whole spill about what they were going to try and do. And I'm like, fucking terrible. Y'all are great at paint protection film. Stick to paint protection film because you're going to try and start, like you said. No one wants to be told you have to use this, and this. Look, you're killing it. You have the best fucking cut software. You have the best film right now. You have all of these things. Why are you going to fuck this up by forcing people's hands? You cannot fucking do this. And they've lost so many people because of doing dumb shit like that. And then to give you another good example of that, when we hosted our Top Gun training, I reached out to a few ceramic coating companies that I've tested and I thought were great products that were easy to install and great other options because I know everybody cannot get CarPro, so they can't get approved for Finest. So look, I have to offer other options to all of our attendees. So I reached out and do you know one of the fucking companies tell me, you're not going to be able to do that because CarPro, you have to only use. I said, listen, stop, time out. Stop. I'm calling to see if you want to have your coating involved. And no, you're not going to. I said, listen, I was CarPro before CarPro was CarPro. That's not your job. Calling, asking for. He fucked himself out of having his own coating there because he was so worried about stupid fucking restrictions, dude. It's dumb. It's stupid. Like literally talked himself out of being presented at our dumb. dumb. Some of the decisions these big guys, these big companies make are mind-boggling, dude. It's mind-boggling. And like at the end of the day, if they want to get into that whole resume dick measure and shit, I'm like, dude, look at what I've built. I started from nothing. I have a 3-story fucking dealership looking building with supercars. Like you can't argue with that. Like I'm going to give you the best ideas for your company to help you. Like I'm not going to steer you in a wrong direction. If I'm trying to help you here, you can either take the advice or you can't. I'm not going to sit here and dick measure or play this fucking game with you. But pushing things to, like you're saying, making guys use certain products is terrible. Like forcing guys' hands. That's why a lot of people got into this, because of the freedom. People want to be their own boss. They want to do things their way. And there's no company out there that makes the best of everything. They're not. All of us as detailers have tons of different things in our fucking arsenal. We do. That's just what we do. And to have companies try and limit you that's a terrible decision for their company.
Oh, well, great. I look at it as like a carpenter, right, or a tradesman or whatever, right? Like they don't just have one hammer for every, right? Like I'm just going to use this one hammer and it's going to bang every fucking nail in the thing or whatever, right? There's different hammers for different things. There's different wrenches for different things. There's different screwdrivers for different things. So you're absolutely right.
Just don't tell the ladies that. There's only one. There's only one. So.
Yeah. But you're absolutely right. You know, there are, you know, sometimes this works great on that, but not on this over here. But this other thing will work really great on that over there. And so, yeah, I mean, you have to have, you know, an arsenal of different things and try different things. I mean, hell, I mean, I even know some guys that, you know, will ask us, you know, like, hey, if I use your product, you know, do I have to use it solely? You know, and I'm like, no, I mean, you know, we don't want to like just give to people who are looking to try to like scoop up everything because they're trying to get territorial. But if you have something that's working great for you, but you see a need for us in your shop, then yes, I mean, that's fine. You know, we don't need to be the only thing in your shop. So yeah, I mean, we even kind of, you know, encourage, you know, if people want to use other things and they want to use our stuff, then do it that way. You know, we don't need to be the only coating that you use. We just hope that you're at least buying something. You know, I look back to when I was talking with Bob Phillips, you know, obviously P&S makes a shitload of products, you know, and he told me that, you know, when he goes to people's shops, he's just happy if they have one thing, right, that they're using from P&S. He doesn't care if they've got a whole cabinet full or every single thing or, you know, whatever. He's like, look, you got one thing, man. That makes me happy. You know,
and that's good. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's how a lot of people should be.
Yeah, I mean, the money grab to just like, we want you to use everything we have, or polishes or whatever. You know, like, no, man, not everybody, you know, it's not everybody makes everything great. I mean, it's like we've said it before, you know, we always talk about it in our company. It's like, you know, if we're going to put a CD out there, not that people buy CDs anymore, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we'd rather put out, you know, 6 really good songs than songs that are shitty and you only like the 2. And that's what happens with a lot of companies. You just pump out a lot of it, or it's just, you know, relabeled stuff where it's like, well, we offer you 100 different products, so go ahead and put 100 products up there, and then they just toss a label and they're all, you know, whatever. It's like you see a lot of that, and for us, the one that gets us is the loyalty part. Even going back to that, is that we still don't understand why some people just won't stick around. Like they just keep. They try it. They want to be the exclusive in my area. I want to be exclusive. Nobody else has it.
See, I think people need to be held to those. I think that those people need to be held accountable.
And then they don't buy anything, right? So they're like, hey, man, like, you know, it goes both ways. I'll protect you.
Yes.
If you have some competition, guys, you know, some kind of weird situation where the guy's across the street, he used to work for you, like a weird situation. Hey, we'll protect you and we won't sell to him. But at the same time, if you're just squatting on a coating because you've got, you know, 10 different coatings, bro, there's
squatter. You got a coding squatter.
So, you know, and the thing is, they don't understand is like, you're talking with people that are the detailers. You know, we are still doing it. We are out of the company, the majority of us are still detailing cars. So we come from that world like, dude, you can't bullshit us. Like, we know what that whole game is about. We've been in it for a long time. And a lot of the up and coming ones, especially like the younger set of guys that are coming into the industry, they're just coming in, looking at YouTube, looking at these guys. They're like, man, I think I'm going to start my own brand and all this. Like, dude,
Yes.
you can't even correct the car yet. Like,
Right.
you got to walk before you crawl. You're trying to be a mogul of
mogul. Yes.
It's like, because they see it in other shit and they're like, oh, I'm going to be this. I'm like, it just, I mean, we see a lot of that. Those are the things that we see as a new company that we're coming in from a different perspective and looking at it and going, man, we knew it was kind of screwed up in a lot of ways, but man, is it screwed up in a lot of ways.
See, let me tell you, Justin brings up a good thing. He said you need new salesmen. See, and this is the other part
No. Stats is being an asshole.
Is he? Listen, he brings up a good point.
I'm a sales rep.
But he brings up a good point, whether that's true or not. He brings up a good fucking point because listen, if someone doesn't get on and hold you accountable, you're not going to know the changes that you need to make. If someone comes online and says, "Hey, dude, this is what happened. I tried to reach out to you. This is the way it went down. This is everything." That's going to help you make the adjust. That's going to help you. If you never know about that, if someone says, "Look, dude, this is what happened," and they just run and jump to another company, that helps nobody. So in a way, sometimes holding and calling somebody out helps. Just like you're saying, it goes both ways. If a detailer is jumping around, coming to you with all these promises, and he's jumping around, I think they need to be held accountable. If somebody comes to you, that's not fair. They can't come to y'all and do that shit, and they shouldn't.
And they do that with when they come to us and they're like, dude, I'm gonna buy
fuck that. No
car, and I'm gonna buy I buy like $10,000 a month worth of all this stuff. I'm gonna do this. I'm on social media. I've got 30,000 followers. I do all this stuff, man. it's gonna be great. All right, man, bring it on, dude. I goes, because talk is cheap.
Oh, 100%.
I can tell you that, whatever, but we'll see. And I would say
they'll tell you all that shit to get a $200 bottle of coating for free.
Yeah. That's the best part.
Yeah, exactly, right? And then it's like, come on, bro. Like, what happened to all this, whatever? But in the past, they did it for another company, for a larger company, right? And they did that. They drank Kool-Aid.
It's like brand wars.
Exactly. And it's like, here's a company that's like, hey, grow with us. There are people that they were super intelligent to recognize a good thing and go, you know what? We're jumping on. This is good. It checks all the boxes for what for company. You're not making all these crazy promises and everything else. Yeah, man, we're in. And they were early adopters. And they're fine. They don't need to be, we don't need to babysit them or come out because they get it. But a lot of these guys, I mean, it's just, again, it's just been conditioned over time. And it's just, companies have been doing this for such a long time. And now here are the effects of it, many years later, after the marketing has worn off. Some of those coatings, they're still not even on the cars anymore because, they're not on there for a lifetime.
What?
It lasts a lifetime. It lasted 2-3 years, and so, it's being realistic. There's a responsibility as a company. You have to have a responsibility that we would not have to want to put our stuff out there where people can't rely on it and call us out on and be like, these guys are full of shit. Like, look, the stuff lasted for whatever. We love seeing people that, we've only been there. We just had installer today. It was his 2-year anniversary. I mean, they started with us before we even launched the company, and still stuff works, and they do huge volume and everything else. And, that's doing it the right way. There's responsibility as a company. You have to do that. Otherwise, if you're going to do the money grab and just say whatever the hell you want to say just to make some money, I mean, there's people that'll do that, and, I think the Amazon shit has creeped in. We've noticed that when people buy a $15 coating on Amazon, and then they're like, well, I'll just charge $300 for a coating job. The shit cost me $10 on Amazon or whatever. Those are a lot of things that are creeping in now that we see as well. And that stuff doesn't work, but we see a lot of it where guys want to buy, they want to buy a bottle that's going to last them, 10 years, but they want to pay $40 for a bottle of, 50 milliliter bottle of something. We're like, why? Because they're charging like nothing, So, I mean, it's it's a responsibility on everybody. So
yeah, accountability. I think accountability is a good word. I think we need to hold more people accountable in this industry, and people don't need to get their feelings hurt over it, you know. But if you're going to come out and say something, you need to stand by that, you know, and that comes down to loyalty and honesty. Because I mean, again, in any other, you know, profession with ambassadors, you go do and say something that's not right, you're cut. You're cut, like you're done. So
we've turned down so many people like that, that have been around the circles of all the different ones, and they've come to us and like, we're gonna do like, nope, we've been around there, dude. No, and I've some of these guys, I mean, I've known them, so it's like I flat out tell them like, dude, you are not a fit for our company. We are not that type of company that will stand for that stuff. Like we're not gonna. You're in the wrong place. That's not how we roll, man. Like that is not what we're about.
But I would say transparent accountability, you know, hopefully that can be a good thing. I've been trying to, you know, call more and more people out on some things, and hopefully, because honestly, if it's done correctly, it can help everybody. It can help the person, it can help the companies, and it can help grow the industry as a whole. You know, some people look at it as drama and bullshit, but at the end of the day, if you're a fucking adult, you can handle some criticism, you know, and we all need it. None of us are perfect, man. None of us. But if somebody comes to us and says, "Hey, man, look, I don't appreciate the way you did this," or you know, maybe you could help us with this, or you know, it's a two-way street, because just as we need to hold brands and people accountable, we need to hold the detailers that are, you know, the higher ups in this industry, and even the smaller guys. Because if we're letting them run around and do this and we're not calling them out on it, dude, they're just going to breed the next fucking generation of them. And that's like these kids that are coming on here saying, you know, I just bought this $60 million property. I turned 18 yesterday and I built 6 shops. Like, you obviously haven't really spent and made big money in your life, because you're not going to go finance a fucking $2 million property at 18 fucking years old. Like, you're not. That credit's going to take a while to fucking build. You're not going to do those things. So these guys doing all this shit and creating these problems in our industry because they're not getting called out. They're not being held accountable and because it's hurting us. It is. Yeah. It's hurting your brand. It's hurting everybody. It's hurting us as shop owners, because now we have a client that comes to us that saw somebody else's ads that completely misinformed them. You know, and if that guy would have got called out on the bullshit ad he was running, he'd have stopped running that fucking ad.
You know, and actually, you know, for us, it's funny because we come in as the quote unquote nice guys, right? The people that want to do it the right way, and we get all this blowback, you know, and it affects us. It's like we're like, you're so conditioned to see all this stuff. Now we're telling you that we're going to take care of you. We're doing this. I mean, talk to any of our installers. Like, give them a call and talk to them and ask them, vet us, and go, hey, you're an installer. Like, how is this with this company? Like, don't bullshit me. Like, how are they for real? And do it, you know, and because we hold ourselves accountable.
Yeah.
You know,
that blowback is good. That blowback right now is good.
Yeah.
That means you're making some noise and you're disrupting an industry that's kind of been set in its ways in certain aspects. And Tommy just spoke on it. The accountability has to come from within too. If you're with a company that you can't complain or have an idea to improve a product, and the powers that be won't listen to their installers, they're going to lose their people.
Yeah.
And again, that was a big monster that blew up real fast. They had these motherfuckers had installer groups that were only installers were on. But if you criticized any part of a process or any part of the product line, they would say, "Oh, well, you're doing it wrong. You're using it wrong," and they delete your comment.
Yeah,
I've seen that shit. Y'all probably know what I'm talking about. Again, I'm not saying I'm not shitting on nobody, but with Angelwax, and Tommy said it, and I just noticed one of the comments popped up. Tommy's such a likable dude, and he stays mellow and chill, and people like him, that we had a problem with some of our installers. Well, they didn't want to complain to him because like, Tommy's my dude. I don't want to hurt his feelings. I don't want to do this, that, or the other. But I reached out to him. I was like, so, hey, man, what's going on? Why aren't you using this particular product during the summertime? They're like, bro, when it's humid, my shop, I don't have AC. This shit sucks to install. And if no one had said those things to me, where I channeled it up to Tommy, who channeled it to our, as soon as Tommy brought it up to our chemists and to our guys in the UK that make our stuff, bro, I had product in my hand in 2 weeks. I had 3 different versions, different carriers.
That's a fucking win.
And now Genesis is what we started with. That was our 2019 when we launched. That was our top tier coating, and it's changed. Now there's a different version for the States, because our guys in Florida that are doing when it's 90 degrees and 90% humidity, the UK never sees that. So they didn't know that, Jesus Christ, this is a pain in the ass to install. So now they've changed and tailored the product. And that comes back to the integrity that we talked about and accountability. It's easy, like, like other companies, again, what you're talking about, Mike, how it's like this set standard that people are used to. You guys, the fact that you're getting some kickback and the fact that you're growing your shit organically and with integrity and with honesty and being upfront and not chasing money or the next shiny thing. That's why we'll be on another episode of this in 5 years. And some of these people that are installing for other companies, their company won't even fucking exist in America anymore.
Some people can't take the way I give it to them. Some guys won't even look me in the face at MTE. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it's not that I have anything about them personally. I'll bend over backwards to help the same person I just fucking blasted. At the end of the day, I want the industry to grow from it. I want the industry to get better, because it's going to help them. It's going to help future detail. It's going to help everybody. But some people just can't understand that, man.
No, and I think, for us, we're a small company, man, that we can make quick decisions. We don't. It's kind of, if you look at like a huge military, a huge army, there's a lot of red tape that has to happen in order for them to make any move, right, strategically. For us as a small company, we take accountability on a daily basis. We're always on the phone, like, what should we do? What do we got to do? We're constantly like keeping ourselves accountable. Are we pissing these guys? Is that the right move? Let's take it out to another group. Let's see what they think. Let's do that, right? And then we can make a move a lot faster, where a larger company, it's not even up to them. They're just like, we're putting this product, it sucks, we don't care, but it's going to make this much money, and that's what we're doing. Yeah. We don't care who says that it's good or it's not any good. It's all that. But it's that internal accountability, that constant, you're kind of checking the pulse.
We're not playing water polo. Some of these guys need to grow the fuck up and get out their panties out of a fucking twist. I think I'm gonna make a shirt that says that. We're not playing fucking water polo, pussies. Like, cause seriously, like, people need to be fucking. Go ahead and run your fucking ad, you bitch.
No.
Oh, you don't need to run an ad. Come on, man. We give you a plug, and you don't even plug, man. We can't even help you.
Before we do the ad, though, I do want to kind of touch on, what you guys have been talking about holding accountability and everything. And I do want to kind of give Rain a little bit of a shout out, because, Rain, when I bumped into him the first night out in Vegas for SEMA, and Tommy and Rain were asking me about, the whole Angelwax gig, because it was fairly new to me. Rain kind of told me, hey, you guys got a good coating. And I thought he was just like, like kind of asking the question, like, you guys got a good coating? And I was like, oh shit, Rain's about to blast me with
shit.
But he actually gave me
good, but
he gave me a really good compliment on it. He told me like, hey, he's like, I tried to take some off, and that shit, stood up to stuff that a lot of other coatings don't stand up to. So, that was kind of a cool thing. But like, here I was ready to take Rain's criticism, and then I would have been like, right to Mike, like, shit, we need to do something, because Rain just calls us out on it.
Makes us rained on my fucking parade.
Yeah, exactly. But all right, let's do our last.
I had to use Angelwax Resurrection Extreme to take it off. So
yeah,
it sounds like Rain. It sounds like Rain's running the ad right now.
Yeah,
Is that the one that was in Indiana? Is that the one that you guys were doing in Indiana for like a training or something like that, Rain?
Yeah. It was at a Detail as a roundtable training, and we had to remove the coating so the Restore FX guy could do his paint chip repair demo, and then we were going to recoat the truck. And they hit it with some wool and a medium polish or compound, and I think it was Mike Ryan's. Me and him were grinding away on it, and that shit's resilient as hell. It was hard. It was there. It was on. I was like, so we broke out the heavy guns, and even then.
So who's this ad for? I'm confused.
It's
we're
a
getting a little bit of Aquatek. But we are going to go to an Aquatek ad right now. We will come back. We'll
you bitch. You got
Bruno,
Trump. Put the Angelwax up real quick.
listen, Bruno's been sending me the text message. Wrap it up. So
Wrap it up, B.
Who is? Who's sending you?
Detailer knows what a detailer wants. Aquatek is a company founded by detailers for detailers.
Aquatek Coatings is a company that was founded on the frustrations that we all face as professional detailers. And that is why we set out to build a company that eliminates those frustrations, to provide excellent customer service, quality products, reliability, efficiency, products that check all the boxes as professional detailers we need and we want.
Find out why so many detailers around the world are loving the Aquatek difference. Join our team today at aquatekcoatings.com.
All right, Jason's giving me the wrap it up B.
He's slumping. He's getting lower and lower.
Yeah,
he's like
he's like waiting for MASH to come on TV.
He's already put his camera on mute or his phone or whatever on mute and dipped out to go to the bathroom. So
I'm excited to try y'all's coating. I've got it. Dude, we have been so fucking busy. I want the time to give the coating a fair shot. I haven't. I've got it sitting in my spot. I appreciate y'all sending it to me. I'm excited to try it. I just want to give it a fair shot.
Yeah.
So listen, I want to thank all of you guys for coming on. Brandon, especially you kind of being kind of last minute, you threw a post or a comment up on the post about, that we didn't ask you. And I was like, shit, like we should. And so I'm glad that you were able to make the time to jump on here with.
Okay. Good meeting you, bro. We need to link up at MT and have some drinks.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
they're on Tommy. All the drinks are on Tommy.
Tommy's going to say all the drinks are on Rick and Rick's going to say all the drinks are
That's how you do it.
Shit flows uphill sometimes.
Yeah. I think this has been a fun episode. I wasn't sure how this was going to go. I mean, according to the comments, this is probably one of the best ones we've done in a long time, maybe ever. So I'm going to challenge.
2 fucking hours, man. Jesus.
And stop fucking crying, you fucking asshole. God damn.
I'm gonna
it was so good because Bruno's been quiet the whole time, ready to go to
fucking sleeping. Motherfucker was sleeping on the fucking job, man.
You could have just put a cutout of Bruno in the back and then
just put it in place.
Go find your car keys and go to bed.
Fucking tape fucking eyeballs to my eyelids.
So I want to challenge everybody who's been listening to this. If you've commented, that this is such a great episode or whatever, I challenge you tomorrow when this goes up to actually share it, put it on your page. Let people send it to people. That's
I got a challenge too.
Yeah,
I challenge anybody if you listened for this 2 hour to almost 2 hour long episode. I challenge you to not fall asleep.
Oh, dude, they're not gonna fall asleep.
No. I'm not saying it was boring because I'm about to fall asleep. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, they won't.
I'm about to go night. It's best.
It sounds like he's 105.
It's that beard, man. You got the Uncle Jesse beard.
I can feel a rainstorm coming in my left fucking kneecap.
Again.
He's Amish, man. He's got to get up. I got to get up at 5 in the morning and go to milk the house.
Somebody give Bruno his fucking bottle and put him in his crib.
Wasm said you just said there's too much cussing. See, Bruno, I told you. I know you said their accent. I know you said their accent words, but it's too much. All right, so I'm gonna one at a time put everybody on the big screen.
Why you gotta do that for me, man?
When I put you on the big screen,
open your eyes.
If anybody out here wants to get in touch with any of the people we've had on the panel and don't know how to, I'll give you your time to give all your ats so that they can reach out to you or whatever. So we'll start with Mike first.
You can find me at Aquatek. Jeez, I don't know.
Jeez, that's not his ad. His ad is not cheese.
Find me watching midget porn when I'm on video break.
Right? Jeez, it's like we're in the after dark section now. I think.
Yeah.
But, Instagram at Aquatek Mike 9. Also aquatekcoatings.com. So I'm on Instagram, Facebook under Aquatek Coatings Mike.
Yep.
Or Aquatek Mike 9.
Mike pretty much runs the Aquatek Instagram. So if you message Instagram or whatever, it's usually Mike that's taking care of it.
Yep.
All right, Brandon, you're up. If anybody wants to reach out to you, how do they find you?
I am on Instagram as EAS Motorsports.
All righty.
Yep.
Easy. And then the Rain Man.
Rain Albertson on Facebook and Rainman06 on Instagram. I don't get on the gram that much. I should, because I got 3 different accounts in jail at one time on Facebook. Pretty sure no one's ever done that before. Yeah. Just at the booth at NTE, we'll have a fucking bottle ready for Jason so he can go to bed early. And I'll have a big bag of edibles if anybody wants some. That's what's up.
We'll see you at MTE. Actually,
Can't wait to get another inbox from Expel and other people that we've pissed off on this episode. But
there you go, Mike. You want to give booth number?
Yeah, you'll find us right next to Rupes. So our booth is right next to.
I believe it's 923 or
923 is what it is. Just look for a bunch of teal and it'll look like 1990 or 1988 in there. So
Hey, I want to take a moment to applaud companies like y'all that are still participating in MTE, because I know a lot of people are kind of pulling out and pulling back, and I'm very encouraging of you guys that do show up and show out. I think like I said, I think the industry needs more people involved and more companies. It's upsetting to me that the bigger companies and bigger brands don't go, and that actually pushes me more to want to use people like you. And I think it should push more people in the industry to use companies like y'all that show up and support, because y'all are supporting the industry. Y'all are out here in the industry. Y'all are reinvesting in the industry, and that's where our money needs to be going into people like y'all.
Awesome, man.
Oh, cool.
All right. Thanks, guys. I'm gonna kick you all out into the waiting room so Bruno and I can wrap this up, because I know he is ready to knock out. So I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on, man, and being so honest and blunt. It was great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
buddy.
Yeah, I don't know how we did. Okay. So yeah, man. So, I mean, you didn't say a lot in this episode. What do you think?
A great episode, and I just realized how far I am away from the industry. I had no fucking clue what any of these guys were talking about. Usually I do. I know, oh yeah, he's talking about this motherfucker, though. He's talking about that company, and I'm like, I have no clue. And it's a good feeling, dude. Like, fuck, I finally don't know anything. Because I've always complained, like, I wish I didn't know this shit.
So you learning with the rest of us, right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, so I'm head scratching, like, what are you talking about?
Listen, I had a lot of fun with this one. It was super thrown together. I think we came up with the idea yesterday, and made it happen. I wasn't sure how it was going to go. I mean, up until about 2 seconds ago, we kept pretty much about 20 people watching us throughout this whole time. Everybody's kind of dipping off now, and I don't blame them.
You don't blame them.
We gotta do it again, man. Listen, please go follow us. Please, the important thing is, like I said, it's sharing, right? Get the podcast out there, maybe to people who don't know what we're doing or what we're talking about, or the people that we're having on. So make sure that you guys are sharing this, especially, like I said, if you thought this was a great episode when it goes out tomorrow. I'm looking at you guys to share it, please. Tommy, we're glad you're still here. Yeah. So MTE is next week. So we are not doing a What's on Your Mind next week, because Jason's going to be in a hotel room. I'm going to be packing stuff up. We will be living from MTE. So you should get your fix of MTE or a podcast from MTE. We'll put something together. We'll do some lives from the paint correction deal. We'll do some lives from Jesscar. I know Noxie wants us to stop by there, and any of the other booths that people would like us to stop by. You'll find me in and out of the Aquatek booth at different points of the day whenever I get tired of walking around. And I can't wait to see everybody. I'm looking at you, Alan Medcroft. Can't wait to see you, buddy. Yeah, that's it. Have a great day, night, weekend, whatever. My name is Alex Russell. I'm still wide awake, and Jason Bruno is sleepy and dopey and maybe a little angry. Good night.